These RBP RX-3 cab-length step bars are for those of you that have a two-door 2007 and up JK that are looking for something that is going to be a very useful step for you, and also something that has a different style than a lot of the other steps out there. There are a lot of steps that are going to be a very similar design, whether you get it from this company or that. They're going to look and function very similarly with pretty much the same price tag attached to them. This one is definitely going to give you a different look. RBP, or Rolling Big Power, is about function, but it's also about aesthetics, where a lot of other companies leave the aesthetics out of the equation a bit more. So this is going to have this mesh over here. It's also going to have a removable and paintable piece that goes right behind the step here. So again, just a way to customize the look of your Jeep a little bit. Definitely set yourself aside from the factory Jeeps and also a lot of the Jeeps out there that have those more traditional steps on them. This is still going to be a very easy 1 out of 3 wrench install, bolting right onto the pinch stem and the underside of the tub of your Jeep. You can get these installed in about an hour, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. Now, it's important to note that this is going to be a step and this is not going to be armor. While this is a big, beefy looking piece, it is not going to hold up against you dropping your Jeep off of a ledge onto a rock, a stump, or any other off-road obstacle. This step is incredibly useful and very comfortable to use because it does sit down and away from the side of the Jeep a good bit. This is not armor, this is definitely a step. So if that's what you're after and you want something that looks different from a lot of the other stuff available, then I think this is going to be a great option. Although for the additional aesthetics that you get with this piece versus the other ones out there on the market, you are going to pay a bit of a premium. These are going to be one of the more expensive steps available, rivaling a lot of the armor out there that it has to be more expensive because of how beefy and strong it is. So with this, you're getting a step at the price of armor, but you are getting something that looks a lot different from some of those other options like I mentioned. So as long as you're willing to pay premium for the different look of this step versus a lot of the other ones out there, then I still think it's going to be a nice choice. So this is going to be a cab length step from RBP, and by them calling it a cab length step, you can probably assume RBP does a lot of stuff for trucks. That's more of a term that's thrown around in the truck world. But either way, this is going to cover the entire area between the front and the rear tires, giving you something that is going to change up the whole side of the Jeep from an aesthetic standpoint. It is going to have this tube here, which, as you can see by these mounts, is going to sit just below the pinch seam. It does return back into the Jeep, and then you have this lower tube here, which is slightly smaller in diameter, and that's where you're going to have your step. As you can see, the screws into place, so you can remove that and color change that if you choose to, and then you're going to have the mesh in the middle here. Again, all about aesthetics there, definitely giving you a different look than you're going to find with a lot of the other options. Overall, very well built for a step. Again, this doesn't need to survive the beating that armor would have to survive, so it doesn't have to be overly built here. It just has to hold a person stepping in and out of the Jeep, and this is going to be more than enough to do that. So for that install, definitely 1 out of 3 wrenches, about an hour, maybe a little bit more, give or take the tools that you have at your disposal, but this is definitely something that you can do in your driveway with just a socket set. Now, depending on the year of your Jeep, you may or may not have a threaded hole in the bottom of the tub that these brackets are going to mount right up to. Don't worry if you don't, RBP has included a nut plate that you'll slide up inside the tub in order to bolt this into place. So regardless of what year you have, this is going to work. This kit's going to include everything you need. So that's what this bracket here is for. This is going to go on the bottom side of the tub. This is going to go right onto the pinch seam. And what that does is eliminate any leverage that might occur from just having the step sticking way out from the side of the Jeep with just one mounting point. That's going to make this much more secure when you're stepping up in and out of the Jeep. So both of these holes are going to be slotted, so you can get all of your hardware started, make sure everything's level and sitting exactly where you want, and then torque it down. You'll rinse and repeat on the other side, and you'll have your brand new steps installed. So like I said, these are going to be more expensive than a lot of the other steps out there. You can get a very basic tubular side step for probably a third or less than what you get a pair of these for. However, these have that different look to them, and you are gonna pay a premium for that. These come in at right around $600 for the pair, which is going to be more akin to armor pricing than side step pricing. But again, they are higher priced because of the aesthetic that you get from this. So as long as you're willing to pay a premium for a step that looks different, I think this is going to be a really nice choice. Like I said, there are a lot of options out there that look very much the same regardless of what company you get it from. This is definitely going to set you apart. This is definitely going to be different as long as you have the budget for it. So if you're looking for a very unique side step, I would recommend these from RBP, and you can find them right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.